All right. Today we're going to talk about the Chalice Stack. The Chalice Stack is one of the most important parts of Ultra Guild work because without the Chalice Stack, pretty much you're not going to be having Mass. So it's important to know there are some pieces and parts to it, and thought we would go over it. Number one, as we sit here and look at the altar, we have our Mass cards in front of us, and that's a Mass card that helps me out with some of the prayers that are usually in the Missal. When I'm looking straight ahead, as in the prayers of prayer of consecration, we have those words right here, so I don't have to continue to look back and forth. So it's right in front and center. Here in the chapel, I have the St. Michael prayer in front of me, just in case I go brain dead, which it happens during Mass, where you have a prayer that you pray every day and you forget it. So anyway, I have that in the school. I will have the collect for purity here, and so those need to be there and stay there. And yes, they are right smack in the middle. So that's that. First of all, of course, in the stack, the Chalice Stack, we have the chalice. This chalice was given to me by the Knights of Columbus by the fourth degree, and has fourth degree knights that have passed on, and their names are here. And every now and then I am tasked and love to pray for these in a Requiem Mass every now and again. So first thing is chalice. Now the chalice after every service needs to be rinsed in water that will go to the ground, meaning don't rinse it in the sink, but it needs to be rinsed, and we'll have a whole nother video on that, so don't worry about that. But the chalice needs to be clean. You should kind of inspect it, make sure it doesn't have anything horrible on it, because this is the body and blood of Christ that we're confecting here. And therefore, whereas right now it wouldn't matter, I guess, if this were dirty, but once the body and blood of Christ is present, then it would be, pretty much close to an abomination to have that sacred of things in something dirty. So we want it to be clean. So make sure it's clean. So that starts right there. This one does have, it has the fourth degree symbol right here on the chalice. Some will have crosses, some will have nothing. If it does have something, make sure it's front and center. Next thing we have is Purificator. And again, we'll learn more about this as we iron them and in my video about linens. But the Purificator goes on top right there. Usually a Purificator has a cross. That cross goes in the middle, and then it just lays like this. Next thing we have is a paten. This is a paten. It is what we hold our bread on. There's all sorts of forms of different patens, but most look kind of like this. On that paten goes a bread wafer. Now do make certain, as we do wash the paten, just like the chalice, if you've just washed it, if it's wet, make sure and dry it thoroughly. This type of bread and this type of, paten with anything wet on it, if you bring them together, it forms glue, and then the priest can't get the host off the paten. So that's it. So paten and host, just like that. Now, some priest hosts have designs on them. Some just have this as a simple cross. Honestly, I don't care how it's in there. I may correct it when I get it to the altar, and of course, put everything face first. But honestly, don't get too concerned over, oh my goodness, is this perfectly in the middle? Do not get overly concerned about that. By the time it gets to me, it's probably not going to be there either. Anyway, so here we have a pall. The chapel, I have palls for every color. Right now we're in Easter, and so it's a white pall. At the Marty Elementary, at the school, many of my vestments have palls specifically for them. So look in the bagging that comes with the vestments to see if it has a like one. Otherwise, either use a simple white one or use one of the right color. The pall goes on top, just like this. Now, here's where some differences go. If I'm just going to make a simple stack for a daily Mass, I would have this and the corporal right there. That is a simple stack. Every now and then we'll use those. Say on Good Friday, we use a simple stack, but again, that's another video. But for the chapel and for daily use, I don't worry about veil and bursts that we're getting to in a minute. I just have a simple stack. So Let's say though we are at Mass, then we have a veil. And this is a veil that's came out of nowhere. Not really sure where this came from, but it's a reversible. See, it's got purple and green. The veil goes over. Yep, and it's going to bite me because of the fact that it is not long enough. Anyway, the veil goes over just like this. Flip the back over. Usually it would go all the way to the back, but quite honestly, if it went just like this, it would be fine. What we're looking for here is for it to be close to, see, I have just a little bit off the edge there, which is fine. Close to, or touching or close to the altar. And then you just kind of tint it out like this to where it's a good angle. And you can back off and make sure, okay, I've got that just about straight. But honestly, I mean, with what I have to work with here, this is perfectly fine. And so that's what we're looking for. The next thing is the burse. And the burse gets the corporal put in it. And it goes on top with the hinge. See it all, these all hinge, with the hinge facing forward. This would be a dressed chalice stack. And so if we're looking for a dressed stack, this would be it. Now then, once it's like this, you're saying, oh my goodness, how can I move it? Well, that's why we fold this part in. You grab it behind it right here, and you can pretty much, with your hand on top, you can move this anywhere you want to go and not have to worry about it. And then when you put it down, just make sure everything is straightened back out. All right, this was your video on the Chalice Stack. Thank you for watching.